Welcome to another episode of Eberhart Outdoors. This one's going to be relatively interesting, I think. It's a little bit different. This is going to be about modifications, fixing stuff, adding aiders, fixing tool belts, just a lot of stuff. And I go to Amish shop to do all of this. I've went to 3 different Amish shops because I've moved over the last 30 years. There's a lot of Amish bridle and saddle shops in Michigan, as there is in Ohio and Indiana and PA. A lot of states have Amish communities, and every Amish community is going to have a bridle or harness shop, saddle shop, where they make saddles and harnesses for the Amish community and for non-Amish community as well, because when I'm in there I see lots of other people come in there as well. And they can do anything. They've got strapping, they've got leather, they've got ropes, 1/2-inch ropes, 1/4-inch ropes, they've got buckles out of the kazoo, more than you'd ever find at a Menards or a Home Depot. They've got all different types of buckles. They have heavy-duty sewing machines. They can stitch through 3 or 4 layers of leather, which I don't use any leather for the most part because it has an odor to it. If it's something I'm going to use for hunting, I do have something on my prep pouches, but I don't use that for hunting. They have nylon straps. They have some really cool fabric, which is a nylon inner strap coated with a very pliable plastic type coating. And I want to give you the gentleman's name because you can call Noah. His name is Noah Brenneman. He's in Riverdale, Michigan, which is up in central Michigan. His daughter Katie works in the shop as well. It's a pretty big shop. They have so much stuff and they can do absolutely anything. And the number is 989, this is Noah's cell phone number, 989-506-0721. All different kinds of buckles. They have D-rings in case you need to make your own belt with D-rings on it, so you can put a rope for making your own pouches. They can make belts for you for the pouches. If you buy the pouches, you can get them at Menards or Home Depot. And then just put a nice heavy strap with D-rings on it, so you can use your ropes and your rope man. There's some saddles over there. The leather. Man, that's some thick leather right there. Wow. Some more parts as far as buckles and I know they have the big D-rings because I've used them here before.
So, might as well leave. Be empty.
I'm going to show you some of the things that he has worked on. First off, and this will be in the video. Actually, I've got videos of him physically doing this work on the sewing machines, cutting, sewing, all this stuff. This here is a pouch that I use. These are just regular work pouches. You can buy these any place. So these are work pouches. These are my location prep pouches for private land only because I put spikes in these pouches, or I put steps in these pouches. There's a Cranford step. It's got little tiny pockets up on the top. I put screw-in bow holders in it. But basically I had this belt made at an Amish shop, and It's a heavy duty belt. It's got a quick adjust buckle on it, and it has 2 D-rings. You know, just like 2 lineman loops on a saddle. So, and it's the same exact thing. I've got a 1/2 inch rope tethered to one of the D-rings on the right hand side, and then I have a long rope. And this rope works exactly like a lineman rope does on a saddle. So I throw this around the tree, I put a rope man on it, so I can adjust this at will, however I want it, and then I just hook this to the second D, and I adjust this to the tree as I'm going up, so that I have both hands free to install stuff. And this came with, I'm right-handed, so I like stuff on my right side, but on the left side you can see this has 2 little straps for holding things. And I used this one on the right-hand side for years with this hatchet. So this is the hatchet I use when I'm prepping locations, especially if I'm drilling holes and putting in spikes. I use the hammer side of this S-wing hatchet to tap the spikes in after I've drilled a 3-inch deep hole with a 3/8 inch Irwin speed bore bit. And then I use this as to knock off all the rough bark before I either install a screw-in step or before I tap in the spike, so that as I'm moving around the tree on my ring of steps, because I don't use a platform, I don't make any noise. And I can move, you know, 360 around the tree, unlike you can on a decent sized tree. You can't do that with a platform unless you have steps around the back side. So anyway, I ripped this off in the center, and rather than getting it restitched, I just took one of these, basically a hammer holder, a metal hammer holder, and I chopped the leather off, and he sewed this on, and I've got a video of him sewing that on. And then also I carry a Coghlan's or a Silky saw with me, a really long, like anywhere from a 13 to 17 inch long Sierra tooth blade camp saw with a sheath. So that sheath I put on right underneath here. It's right up in the front behind this D-ring. And when I pull it out over the years, I've ripped the crap out of this fabric right here. So I also had him, I don't know how well you can see that, I had him stitch on a piece of leather over that. So now I can do that for years. I've had this pouch probably 15 or 20 years, and it was just starting to wear out, so I had him stitch that on there. Now I don't have to worry about it. My kids will use it after I die. So anyway, he repaired this, made it a little bit better. I kind of ripped apart my location preparation pouch, which has a hatchet holder on it, and I'm putting on a leather one. Something that's not going to fall apart. It's a leather holder with a metal holder for a hammer. And then I've also, from using my saw, pulling my saw out of its scabbard in front of the pouches, the teeth have ripped the front of the pouch pretty bad from either taking it out or pushing it back in. They rub against the corner of this fabric, and they've cut it up pretty bad, so he's going to put a swatch of leather there so it doesn't get any worse. In fact, it probably will never have a problem after the leather's there. This is just a badass pouch for prepping locations because it works exactly like a saddle. It's got a rope that goes around the tree, which is this black rope here. Got a rope man on it and a carabiner just like you have on the saddle. So you adjust that to the tree diameter, and then when you get up to the tree, up to where you're putting in steps and stuff, you can keep them in these pouches. They're just basic work pouches for construction workers. Great preparation pouch. It's not a freelance deal, just for pre-prep. Primarily on private, where you can actually screw stuff in, or strap-ons. You could use strap-ons on public for this too. But I never pre-prep public land spots too often and leave strap-ons in the tree because they just get stolen in Michigan. I modify my stuff, even my saddles, even my ESSs. You know, there's things on an ESS that are a little confusing for guys that don't know how to use a 2-panel saddle. That's why so many people are afraid of it. They're afraid to use a 2-panel because it takes a little bit, maybe 10 minutes more to learn how to use it, but for a lifetime of hunting, it's far more advantageous because it's a lot more comfortable and it's a lot more versatile because I can adjust the panels however I want. But anyway, I had a quick adjust buckle put on here, so I run a 2 or 1 inch strap, have it stitched onto the outer panel over here, runs through the slot under the D-ring, goes across the front, goes through the slot through the other D-ring, and it's hooked to a quick attach buckle just like you'd have on a backpack strap. So once you put this thing on, you just pull it up above your waist, you know, for walking or climbing, and then you just pull on the tag end of this thing and it tightens everything around your waist, including the D-rings, because the strap goes through the slots under the D-rings. It pulls that right together in the front. So unlike having the belt, which it comes with a belt, and the belt kind of leaves this stuff dangling, the D-rings dangle about 6 inches in front on each side. This brings everything tight together. We couldn't make it like that because of liability issues, but for somebody that's an advanced saddle user that uses a 2-panel saddle, that's something you can do. Oh, also I do a fixed bridge. I do not like to have an adjustable bridge. Once a bridge is where it should be, once you find your sweet spot with a particular saddle, the way that bridge loops are and the lengths and everything of the depth of the saddle, you know, I like a fixed bridge because you should never ever have to adjust your bridge length unless you gain a hell of a lot of weight or you lose a lot of weight. Because the bridge length is basically designed per your body size, how wide your hips are, you know, for hip pinch. 2-panel saddles don't have hip pinch though. But once I find my sweet spot, I had the Amish guy cut off the strap and then took off the buckle, and then I just fixed the bridge to that specific length. So it's a fixed bridge and never have to worry about it. Don't have any extra stuff dangling there either. Now Noah is making the bridge a fixed bridge. Once you get the bridge length you need, or at least me, I cut it and have it stitched so I don't have to mess with the buckle or the adjustments at all. Because once I find the bridge, I keep it that same length all the time. So that's what we're doing. This is a modification on an ESS for a quick adjust buckle. You just slip on the ESS, grab the tag end and pull on it, and it's around your waist with the D-rings tight right to each other. Quick adjust buckle just like you'd have on a backpack strap. This here is basically, this is a freelance fanny pack. It's full of screw-in steps for freelancing on private land. Like when I go out of state, I have some private lands I hunt out of state. And it's got steps in each side pocket for climbing, and it's got deluxe steps with flat surfaces on the top in the front for my ring. And over the years, the stitching on this, especially this big main pocket, is ripped out. It was basically, the zipper was separating quite a ways from the fabric, so I had him repair that as well. I've got about 10 of these, but this one here is kind of my personal favorite. I've had this one probably pushing 30 years, 35 years, so I had him repair it. Now it's like new. This is one of my freelance fanny packs. This is a really old one, and the stitching started to pull apart, so just getting that repaired. You can tell how old it is because that pattern is at least 25 years old, that mossy oak pattern. Get it?
Got it.
Noah just finished repairing a pant leg on a pair of camo pants that were defective. I don't really think of anything that they can't do there. I think that's about it. And again, his name is Noah Brenneman, and his number's 989-506-0721. He's in central Michigan. But there's a lot of Amish communities around the country, especially in the Midwest, and every Amish community has somebody that works and makes bridles and saddles and harnesses. And they probably have just about everything that Noah has. I will say this, Noah has more stuff than the other two shops that I've dealt with over the years. And he welcomes anybody calling him. If somebody wanted to send him sticks, he'd put aiders on them and mail them back. Or if anybody wanted to do saddle mods, you know, make a belt like this, because I'll show a video of this. Whether it works or not, if it doesn't work, I'll tell you. But I can't imagine this is not going to work. Keep that in mind. If you if you don't have an Amish shop, there's a possible chance, as far as sewing machines, heavy duty, you might have an awning shop or a boat cover shop in the area, but they're not going to have all the materials to make all this kind of stuff. They're just not going to have that. Check out an Amish shop if you get a chance, or call Noah, and he knows how to do this. He's been doing it for me for several years. He's modified probably 100 saddles for me, and he's actually going to be selling Skeletor sticks this fall, which is kind of interesting. But anyway, thank you for your time. I hope you enjoy the video of him actually doing all this labor, and his daughter doing a little bit as well, Katie. You're just poking holes in there?
Yeah.
Making parts for a bridle. And it's pretty unique video. I don't think there's anything quite like it out there. And hey, if you like it, hit like and subscribe. And thank you very much.